Today is Tuesday, November 8th. It is currently 10 a.m. My name is Luzon Merguido, Senior Procurement Officer. Romero, Assistant City Manager. I'm Juan Garcia from the City Clerk's Office with the city. And today we will be discussing our 02-2223 for construction, engineering, and inspection services for the South Royal Poinciana Stormwater Improvements Project during this mandatory pre-proposal conference. Please note that we are in a cone of silence with respect to the solicitation and that this is a public meeting being held both in person at our City Hall Council chambers and on Zoom, and is currently being recorded and will be posted on the city's webpage and the city's YouTube page later today. At this time, I request that everyone on the line on Zoom, please kindly stay muted. Additionally, if you can please, on the chat box, enter your name, company name, phone number, and email, so that we may be able to log your attendance for this mandatory pre-bid meeting. And the 3 members in the audience, did you guys all sign in as well? Okay. Thank you. If you've dialed in and are unable to access the chat box, you could also send me an email to my email address as referenced on page 2 of the RFQ. Please kindly do not ask any questions until we open the floor for questioning shortly. Just to recap a few dates on this RFQ was advertised on October 31st, 2022 on our city's website, in the Daily Business Review, and on Demand Star. At this time, I'll be opening up the floor for questions. Please kindly raise your hand and wait your turn if you're on Zoom until you're called upon before asking your questions. I will call on you one by one. I will try my best to answer any questions today, but in the event that I'm unable to do so, you will receive those answers by way of amendment on November 18th by 5 p.m. At this time, if you have any questions, the floor is now open for questioning.
Nobody raised them.
No worries. And then the chat box, please, we could make sure we'll have access to that on the third.
Yeah, they're logging in. They're logging in. Somebody has a question in the chat. Is there a bond requirement? It's from Maria Alvarez.
Good morning. If you could please sign in for coming at the podium. Thank you. Okay, so as referenced on page 8 of the RFQ, performance bond and payment bonds are required.
So if there's any more questions.
Does anyone else have any other questions, either on Zoom or in person? Yes.
Could you please come up to the mic, please? Yes, yeah. That's why I know the first one.
Good morning, Jose Santiago with EXP US Services. My question is.
Can you put the mic up?
Yeah, just speak into the mic, please.
Sure.
Sorry.
Good morning, Jose Santiago, EXP US Services. My question is, what is the budget for the CI services in this project?
Yes, he's on. Jose? Oh, we can't hear you. Introduce it first.
I'm sorry. Yes, I realized I was in mute. Sorry about that. My name is Jose Lopez, and with Bermelio Hamilton Palmer, I'm the consultant for the city of Miami Springs, helping with the design and the contract agreement for the CI. So, Cecil, if that's okay, would I prefer that you make a note of all the questions, and I will respond in writing as soon as possible, probably by tomorrow or Friday the latest. Okay, but I want to make sure I have to do it in writing before I do everything orally, because things could be misinterpreted. So if you don't mind to do that, just get all the comments orally or in written, and I will respond right away. Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll respond to your question on, through the amendment that you'll receive on the 18th, November 18th. Did you have a question? Sure, if you could just please walk up to the podium so that the members on Zoom can hear you.
How do they get on Zoom so I can send this to my boss?
Oh, okay, so in the actual RFQ on page 2, sorry, there's the link for Zoom. So either if they want to go through our website, it's in our website, or if he has a document, he can put up the link for Zoom.
Okay.
There's a couple questions that came in through Zoom.
It'll be recorded anyways and posted, so okay, he wants to see it at a later time, it's fine. Are they in the chat room?
Yes,
Or
they're in the chat thing.
Okay, so one of the questions is this electronic submittal? You could submit on Demand Star or in person at our city clerk's office here at our city hall. I would refer back to the public notice on page 2. But it could be either on Demand Star or one copy of your submission to our city clerk's office. Ozzy asked what is the contract amount. That will respond via the amendment. Same for Oswald Rosa's questions of duration of contract, budget, estimated staffing, lab services, PIO services, and surveying. We would respond to those via way of amendment on November 18th by end of day. I'm gonna make sure we have those because those are questions are putting in the chat box.
They get recorded in the
Sorry, someone's asking, aren't bonds only required for the contractor?
Not necessarily. The CEI has liabilities as well. So
I don't know if you heard her, but she said not necessarily that the CEI has responsibilities as well. Liabilities as well. But we'll respond to that in the amendment as well.
we'll get with the George. I'm sorry, Jose. George is the other one from.
Any other questions from anyone in Zoom or in person?
Hi, good morning, Brandon with Keith, Brandon Hauser with Keith, excuse me. Question, is there a limit to the amount of teams that stuff can be on?
I would say no.
Thank you.
So basically, they would be a subcontractor to
O'Brien.
many other clients that could be responsible. That's what that's.
So even if there's multiple prime, he could be a sub for any of those.
He can be a
multiple-
sub, if he wants to be a sub instead of the prime, he can be a sub to any one of those specific discussion team.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll still respond to it in the amendment. The next question is, who are the evaluation committee members?
Have you determined this yet?
No,
No, okay.
those haven't been determined yet.
We'll have them determined.
We'll have them determined by the time the amendment goes out.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any other questions? Either on Zoom or in person? Okay, someone asked, Albert asked, will the list of attendees be published? Yes. I have a sign-in sheet here and I'll update it with everyone that attended the Zoom chat and it'll be published by end of day on our city's website. And demand store.
We had a couple of people join the meeting after you mentioned the writing their information in the chat, so.
Okay. So anyone who didn't log into the Zoom meeting when it started, if you could please put your name, company name, phone number, and email, and the address in the chat box. Just for so we can log your attendance to this mandatory pre-bid meeting. If you dialed in and you're unable to access the chat box, you can send me an email to my email address as referenced on page 2 of the RFQ. Does anyone else have any other questions? Okay, so I'm closing the floor for questioning. I'm just going to recap a couple of dates. Okay, so you have until Friday, November 11th, 5 p.m. to send any other questions via email. The city will respond to those questions by way of amendment November 18th by 5 p.m. Proposals are due December 1st at 2:30 p.m. City staff members' review of responses for responsiveness is December 1st to the 9th. Evaluation committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for December 13th through 14th, December 14th. Presentations as needed. City manager issues recommendation to council is tentatively scheduled for January 6, 2023. Council meeting to select consultant and authorize negotiations and execution of agreement is tentatively scheduled for January 9th. Negotiations will be tentatively scheduled for January 10th through January 13th. City manager issues recommendation to council is tentatively scheduled for January 18th. And council meeting to approve agreement with top ranked consultant is tentatively scheduled for January 23rd. Just a friendly reminder that we are still in a cone of silence on this item. I want to thank you for attending today's mandatory pre-proposal meeting for RFQ 02-2223. for construction, engineering, and inspection services for the South Royal Poinciana Stormwater and Roadway Improvements Project. We look forward to receiving your proposals. And this concludes our meeting. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, everybody.